Till that humanity nearly became extinct 72,000 years ago and we were down to 40 breeding pairs. Imagine surviving and raising a family under conditions of wild temperature extremes, and scarce resources. Everyone competing for literal survival. You'd probably have to be some combination of very aggressive and very clever. Kind of explains a lot. 40 breeding pairs would give us very small genetic pool. Better luck next time. Carrot, P.S., you're all inbred spawn. Cousin fuckers all of you. At first, I was so happy to finally see a TIL post about something that happened in my hometown, but, then I found out that title is a bit misleading. Hear what I found from another sources. The youngest Toba eruption has been linked to a genetic bottleneck in human evolution about 70,000 years ago. According to the genetic bottleneck theory, human populations sharply decreased to 3,000 to 10,000 surviving individuals. It is supported by some genetic evidence suggesting that today's humans are descended from a very small population of between 1,000 and 10,000 breeding pairs that existed about 70,000 years ago. It also happened back in 2021. The good old days. That's just one of such occurrence we know of. I think if I remember correctly that we have the genes left over from 40 breeding pairs, but that doesn't mean there were only 40 breeding pairs left on Earth. It just means that the other humans that were alive did not get to pass down their genes long enough to prove their existence. Claiming the Toba super-eruption caused this is only a theory at best, and the 40 breeding pair low is simply sensationalist. There's not a consensus whether this even caused a volcanic winter or a genetic bottleneck. Those in support that it did usually claim 1,000 to 10,000 breeding pairs at the low point between 50,000 to 100,000 years ago. That title is absurd when the article says there could also have been significantly more breeding pairs. It's uncertain. What I find interesting is that human civilization is so prolific in Indonesia and the South Pacific where the eruption occurred, or at least closest to it. We know life survived well in these regions, so I think there's hyperbole at work here. If humans survived in Indonesia literally right near the volcano, and we have evidence they were there, 73,000 years ago, so likely earlier still, then I highly doubt the world was down to 40 breeding pairs. Some studies seem to have found a continuation of human culture in southern India as usual, for instance. Other research has cast doubt on a link between the Lake Toba caldera and a genetic bottleneck. For example, ancient stone tools, https://en, Wikipedia. org/wiki/stone_tool, in southern India were found above and below a thick layer of ash from the youngest Toba eruption and were very similar across these layers, suggesting that the dust clouds from the eruption did not wipe out this local population. The same authors looked at other regions. Additional archaeological evidence from southern and northern India also suggests a lack of evidence for effects of the eruption on local populations, leading the authors of the study to conclude, many forms of life survived the super-eruption, contrary to other research which has suggested significant animal extinctions and genetic bottlenecks. A huge, catastrophic event no doubt, but the 40 breeding pairs is designed to get clicks. It is not a valid conclusion at this point. Actually it seems to be quite opposite to the facts and a bit of common sense. Worth noting that it's a controversial theory that has evidence against it. https://www. livescience.com/29130 Toba supervolcano effects. HTML. This has always been amazing to me and, according to our best guesses, only 20,000 years later we were displacing/outcompeting/replacing Neanderthals, Denisovans, and some mysterious third near relative all over Europe and Asia. According to the article, more like 5,000 to 10,000 people, but whatever. Bet it's not the last time, either. Can anyone explain how 40 breeding pairs was enough to restore the human race and not lead to us becoming completely inbred genetic monsters? I saw a program years ago about how many breeding pairs would be needed on a colony spaceship in order to ensure healthy offspring, and it was a lot more than 40 couples. I bet Mother Nature tells the other planets how she thought she got rid of all the humans but didn't realize she missed some, and now she has a planet's equivalent of a bed bug infestation. In comparison to Toba, how much ash can a Yellowstone eruption eject? Asking because 2020 must have been exactly 40 pairs, with 1 pair Neanderthal, because my DNA test showed 5% of that. That number didn't include the guys in their parents' base cave reading cave comics. Damn, there are billions of us now and I still can't get laid. I bet I still couldn't get laid. They don't mean there was only 40 pairs of humans left. They mean that all humans today share ancestors from those 40 breeding pairs. So there could have been others out there, but their offspring eventually died out and didn't pass genes on. At some point in evolution humans bottlenecked to about 100 or so people. This explains the lack of DNA diversity we see today. The offspring of these 40 breeding pairs were the ones that have passed their genes on until modern times, an unbroken line of reproduction, but our looming weight makes us vulnerable to viruses that were once isolated deep in forests and mountains, but are now bumping into humans. Published, October 22, 2012. Well, that aged like wine. Thankfully those 40 pair fucked enough to repopulate entire human species. Aw shit. We were so close. Well damn, must have been one hell of a monkey orgy. Oh. So close, bummer. This sounds like an unproven hypothesis. There is no way we could actually know this to be a fact. Don't worry. At the rate we're going, we'll make it back there. No, we didn't, and I will keep disproving this. https://www. reddit.com/r/till_around_70,_years_ago_the_valcano_in/dcycq5l/. Pretty interesting that we can figure that out but can't see that 4,000 years ago all the species on Earth were reduced to just one breeding pair and recovered. /s. Toba nearly killed us then. Yellowstone would arguably be worse. Yes, I completely should have said one study suggests that. This was no way meant to be misleading, I just found it interesting. Is that why we are all idiots? Almost just isn't good enough. We got lucky that aliens came and saved our species from extinction. Aha, so that's why we all are acting like inbred retards. Good to know. Roll Tide. Incest the best. Guess what, kids? History's gonna repeat itself, but not make the same mistake twice. For some reason, when the movie 10,000 first came out I assumed it was about this. I had heard the estimate of 10,000 individuals rather than 40 breeding couples. I quickly figured out it was unrelated and felt quite disappointed. Neanderthals or Denisovans would probably be standing in our place instead. That's still humanity in my books, since H. sapiens successfully interbred and hybridized with them. I will just leave this here, maybe someone will be interested in reading it. TIL. This specific event did not result in a genetic bottleneck. http://johnhawks. net/weblog/reviews/climate/toba bottleneck didn't happen 2018. HTML, http://johnhawks. net/weblog/reviews/climate/toba bottleneck didn't happen 2018. HTML. Alright, which of those 40 people are responsible for my shitty genes that produced my left eye? It says. According to one study. Scientists do not know how many. More likely there was a drastic dip and then 5,000 to 10,000 bedraggled Homo sapiens struggled together in pitiful little clumps hunting and gathering for thousands of years until, in the late Stone Age, we humans began to recover. And yet OP chose the low estimate. Why? Clickbait. Sensationalism. Whatever the case, it's wrong. It may have been 40 breeding pairs, but it was more likely thousands of people. Because once in our history, the worldwide population of human beings skidded so sharply we were down to roughly 1,000 reproductive adults. U/Brun and Burr, please, delete the bullshit post.